Hi, so today we're going to be talking about why quiet people are so special. So if you're a quiet person, you might be interested to hear this right to the end. All right. Yeah, so one of the first reasons why quiet people are so special is because they don't always want to be the center of attention and they're quite happy to let you take the spotlight. So one of the first things that I find that makes a quiet person special is when they come into a room. Sometimes they'll come in with a friend and the friend is very bright and vivacious and she's all personality, she's all body, she's all looks, and all the bling dazzles you at first, doesn't it? But the longer you're around the two of them, the more you start to notice the quiet one, the more shy one in the background, and they actually become more intriguing to you because they don't feel the need to be the center of attention. They don't feel the need to always be out there, and they're actually happy to let their friends shine. If they've got a friend who likes to be the center of attention and who likes to be the belle of a ball, then sometimes a quiet friend is really nice to have, that they will just support you and do their own thing very quietly, and they also often attract other people's attention after a while, after the excitement of the bling and the design of that friend comes in. When everybody gets past that, then we're usually looking for more sincere characters, and quiet people tend to suggest that they can be more sincere and true to themselves. The other thing with a quiet friend is that they tend to have mastered the art of listening. To be a good listener is a great skill, and to be observant of others and to talk less is also a skill. Yeah, and quiet friends, they tend to listen more than talk. They tend to be quite observant. So everybody can appreciate having that kind of energy around them. Somebody who just wants to listen, is observing their behavior and trying to really understand them, as opposed to the person who always has something to say, who's always jumping in on you. So that quiet friend is feels like a quiet support sometimes. And sometimes that's why the quiet and ordinary girl can steal the hottest guy in the room, or the hottest guy at college or university or the workplace. They'll steal them because where the more outward big personality girls will be seen and obvious to everybody, they will take a sharp eye, and sometimes the sharp eye of a man particularly will notice a quiet person and just be intrigued by them. But when they start to talk to them and they realize that they're good listeners, that they're observing them, that they're understanding them, then that man can often feel more appreciated by a quiet person, a person who would let them be themselves, express themselves the way that they want to, and not really judge them. So this is, if a quiet person and an ordinary girl, especially one who might not be as beautiful as you and have such an amazing personality as what you have, but she's stolen your man, then that might have something to do with her ability to be quietly observing, listening to, and understanding your man and stealing him off you. And another thing is that friends who are quiet and also very supportive are a peaceful blessing. The other thing that a quiet person really brings to the table is when they're supportive and quiet. You've had events, maybe it's a wedding, and you've called a friend who's really good at designing. She knows all the stuff, she knows everything that needs to be done, or what dress you should wear, and you brought her in, but she's just too many opinions, has too much to say, and after a while, she actually becomes another job in itself. So you have to plan the wedding, but you also have to plan to handle the boisterous friend or the opinionated friend who feels she has so much to say. But when you've got a quiet and supportive friend, not only do they enable you to get the job done, but they enable you to keep a peaceful state of mind. So that's one of my special reasons why I like quiet people. Yeah, so the other thing with quiet friends is that they can seem intimidating, especially for a chatterbox. Sometimes when you first meet a quiet person, you might think they're quite standoffish, that they're snobby, and you probably think that the reason why they're quiet is because they think you're not good enough to be in their company. But the truth of it is that quiet people are very selective about who is their friends. They don't feel the need to go out and meet new people and make new friends like some of us often do. What they tend to do is draw good quality people towards them, and they're quite selective about who comes close to them physically, and they're even more selective about who comes close to them emotionally and in their private world. So once you get into the world of a private person and then they have decided that they are your friend, they usually become lifelong and very loyal friends. Quiet people do not find silence awkward at all. They are at peace with themselves and they're at peace with silence wherever they are. And the other thing about quiet people, which is opposite to people who love to chat, is that they don't have a problem with those silent moments. You know, where some of us who like to chat, we find it awkward and we always feel like we have to fill the air and we have to be saying something. We just can't have pure silence. Well, a quiet person isn't worried about that. They're so at peace with themselves and they're at peace within the environment that they don't even pick up on your jitters and confusion as to why you're talking so much. So, but when you do want to be around another person, especially when it's going to be somebody who's close to you, then to have a quiet person around is just such a blessing, because they're just there, and you can often even forget that they're there, and you're free in yourself and in your mind to just be who you want to be and enjoy being you. All right, so we've seen so many good qualities in quiet people, and in being quiet, it actually makes me want to be quiet. But let's just summarize quickly what are those qualities that they really carry with them. If you're a quiet person, then you can know in a lot of ways that you do bring a blessing into the environment. You do bring a calmness and a peacefulness around. And for those of us who, when we meet quiet people, we shouldn't be suspicious of them or assume that they're being quiet because they're holding back and that they've got something to hide, but quite the contrary. They're often quite confident of themselves, they are good listeners, they are very observant of you and your behavior, and if you are not confident in yourself, then that quiet person can rattle you a little, because like we say, those long silent moments might be very uncomfortable for you, but for them they're totally at peace with themselves and the silence of that moment. And if you have a quiet friend, especially one who's supportive and really listens to you and listen to you pouring out your heart and your issues or your plans or your adventure, it's always good at some point or another to really let them know what a true blessing they are for you. Okay, so you can share your comments. Are you a quiet person and do you enjoy being that way? Or do you wish you had a bigger personality and that you was more out there? And the other thing, do you enjoy being around quiet people, or do they make you feel uncomfortable? Just give us your comments on quiet people and why they might be special to you or not, okay?